What's up, everybody? This is DJ RTC, RubyHornet.com, and we have the pleasure to be joined by Everlast and Danny Boy from House of Pain, who just tore down the stage tonight as La Coka Nostra and House of Pain. You guys kind of went in and out. Is there a kind of approach you guys have taken from making music as House of Pain and bring to La Coka Nostra, and then where does the new group kind of start?
Well, I mean, for me personally, the whole reason like getting involved with La Coka Nostra, very long story short, Bill was closer with Danny than me, but we were acquaintances. But we kind of became closer friends through Danny. Also, the same with Slane. And I wasn't really spitting like that no more. And Slane actually just kind of came at me one day like, yo, I kind of grew up on your shit, and I love it. And will you get on this jam with me? And he played me the record, and I just wrote a rhyme, and I had a really good time doing it. And like about 2 weeks later, Ill Bill comes into town, and we're hanging out, and the kind of same thing happens. We don't ask to get on a jam, but Lethal throws up a beat, and we wind up doing actually the first two parts of Fuck Tony Montana. And so, again, trying to shorten the story as much as possible, after a few songs, we're trying to figure out what to do with it. Danny Boy had already had the La Coka Nostra thing going. Again, it was kind of almost the same vibe when Danny Boy invented the House of Pain name. It was like we were sitting around kicking around ideas of what to do, and I saw a tape deck or a tape cassette in his collection that said House of Pain. I was like, what is that? And he was like, oh, it's an old punk rock band I did. You know, tell me if I'm reciting it wrong.
He's reciting it wrong.
Is that right?
No, he's not. Come on.
You know, it's always been fam. For me, it's always been what feels good. I said to Slane tonight, how are we going to do this? He was like, what are we going to do here and there? I was like, dude, it's whatever feels good.
We actually we interviewed Talib Kweli back in the summer, and we asked him a question about his various side projects and how he goes from space to space.
Idol Warship?
Right.
That's a bitchin' name, man. That's just a bit. And I love Reese. That project is, I got to really check that out a little harder. I've only heard like one or two things, but I love the name, and I love Talib, and I love Reese. So I'm coming to check it out.
We asked him kind of how he's able to do that, and he actually cited you guys and said you had a talk with you. He quoted a conversation he had with you on, I think, Rock the Bells or something.
I was talking to Everlast about 2 days ago about how I've learned from artists like him. How when you have different ways you want to express yourself, you change the brand so that you don't water down or dilute the brand. And his answer to me was just perfect. He said, "Man, people want that new crack. They don't want that old drug. They want that new crack."
I actually did. I remember that now. I remember because it was in the Boston gig. It was because the vibe. It was like hip hop summer camp there. It was fucking hilarious because the vibes were just so good. There was no like bravado between cats. You know, it got different in different towns, but for some reason in Boston, everybody was like, it was like summer camp. I remember us having that conversation, and another part of it was just like doing what you're afraid to do, but you want to do. You know, it's like you want to do it, but you're afraid to do it. That's absolutely what you should do.
As far as the show goes, the crowd was really into it throughout the show, and I'm just wondering, what's it like for you guys to kind of revisit the House of Pain material, go through the whole set?
We was talking about it earlier, man. You know, but we've peppered a lot of the La Coka Nostra shows, you know, prior to this show, with some House of Pain stuff. So we kind of slowly built up to it. But that was the first time we did the full set like that in 15 years, man.
Wow.
So it feels good. But for me, because Eric is it's his writing. You know what I'm saying? So for me, performing it just brings me back to that era. But it's timeless. That's the hip hop I love. That's the hip hop that's missing. You know what I mean? And it's too bad because I don't fucks with music really nowadays. Any genre, there's nothing that gets me open anymore. So it's I guess I become my old man at this point because it's like I think all the new shit sounds like most of it sounds like trash to me. So
last question. Towards the end of your set, you guys said something like, "I apologize. I want to take credit for the good rock rap bands."
I said you're welcome. We were about to do Just Another Victim, the song that Helmet and us collaboed on, and kind of. I was in that movie, Judgment Night. Most people who have any, following what we've done know that. And I kind of was responsible for the seed and the idea of the soundtrack. And the Helmet song with us was like the first one, and it kind of set off that whole like new metal rap scene like of the '90s. And I basically just said, I want to say you're welcome for the few good bands, and I'm sorry for all the shitty ones that were spawned from this. So I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, it made me think of a lyric that Ad Rock once had where he says, I think it's Alive, where he goes, "I created a monster with the rhymes I write. Goatee metal rap, please say goodnight." And he's not here, so I can't ask him this question, but someone that kind of in the peer group, I'm wondering what you think when you hear that line, and have you guys ever had that talk?
No. Last time I really hung with the Beastie Boys, they kicked us off their tour. because we were too wild for the Beastie Boys. So, I mean, I love them. I got nothing but love for you guys, but that was our first like major tour, and I like slapped their road manager around or some bad shit happened, and we were just a little too wild. Danny Boy came out of a gun shop in Texas with like 2 AKs and ran on the bus, like.
And we were young, it was our first time out. They took us on our first tour. Everlast had been out before, Rhyme Syndicate, but it was the first time as House of Pain we had been out on a thing. We'd only done like 2 shows before that, maybe 3, but we were gassed up like it was 84 or 85, we were trying to fucking drink, fight, fuck, go all out, and they were kind of like on the total other side of the spectrum. But I told Slane today, I said, what, I would feel the same way if kids were like, yo, these guys wrote their name in the elevator, they just bought an AK at this job, this, there. I'd be like, get these fucking guys out of here, bro. It's like, don't get down like that no more.
I've always just felt like, we've been fortunate. We made like 3 albums that I'm proud of and everything, but it's like we made one monster of a song that is still to this day, underrated. I see like VH1 I do these top rap songs and like jump around being like number 50 rap song of the 90s. You're out of your fucking mind. I'm sorry. There's not a song that globally. And I'm not even saying this from an egotistical standpoint, because there was a long time when I tried to distance myself from Jump Around, when I started with the Whitey Ford, just to be like, look, I'm doing something different, But like the further you get away from it and the longer time that expands from it, you realize like the year Jump Around came out, we didn't think it was gonna be 20 years later, like you could put it on in a club and people would still like go kind of nuts for it, I mean, it's kind of, it's a strange thing that in 1992 we just thought it was another hit record that year, along with Black Sheep and Bland Nubians and Cypress, whoever else. You know what I mean? It's like the time and the distance since it like gives you a whole different perspective on it.